Hello, beautifuls. I am here with my second, my second video in this series, what they did to our mothers. And this one is featuring our dear mother, Rosa Parks. And I first want to, preface this by saying that I do know, and it was mentioned in one of my first videos, when I mentioned that I was going to do this series, that there was a young girl before Rosa Parks who decided to not get up out of her seat, to not get up out of her seat, but she wasn't suitable for the image that. Who is it? Like, who is it that is pushing this civil rights movement? Like, when I think about it, I don't know if it's like apes, old ass apes back in the day, or if it is like weak and sad and pathetic white males. Like, and at this point, they about the same to me. Like, I just gotta be honest. Like, actually, I can't tell who worse, ape or a weak, pathetic white male. Like, I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying to, like, weigh the pros and the cons. But to me, they about the same. And if you get, and it's because they are the same. Like, let me just say that. Like, it's the same dirty Y. It's the same dirty Y floating around here. You know what I'm saying? And just because it's been whitened does not mean it's not the same dirty, despicable, disgusting Y. It is. And just get used to me saying dirty Y at this point. Like, from now on, dirty Y is how I explain apes. And white males got their dirty Y too. Like, it's the dirty Y. They all living with it, and it's just disgusting and dirty. And so I can't figure out now at this point in my life in this civil rights movement, like, who is pushing this agenda? Is it the apes dirty Y? Is it the apes, or is it the dirty ass, white males who share the same dirty Y as apes? And that dirty Y hates black women. So to be clear, like, that Y chromosome that's in at least 90% of black males. And I'm just, just to be correct in what I say, I'm saying 90%, in my life, it's been 100%. And I'm sure, ladies listening, it's been 100%. And I'm not discounting our experience. I'm just leaving 10% room, for my statement to be true. Right? So about 90% of these apes got that dirty Y. And, and I'm willing to say at this point, 70%. I'm willing to say 70% of white males got their dirty Y. At least 70% of white males, when we're talking about American white males, 70% of them got that same dirty fucking Y. I'm just letting y'all know. Like, y'all do with that what y'all want. I mean, y'all go out and date. I am too, because I'm a mostly heterosexual black woman, right? So I go out there and, try to look at the mess we're sorting through. Like, like, to even date, look at the mess that we're sorting through, okay? Anyhow, and when I talk about this dirty Y, I'm talking about, like, the dirty Y that does not want to see black women ascend. Yeah, it's in white males too. I've come with the bad news, okay? So I can't figure out, who's pushing the civil rights agenda at this point. But anyhow, I wanted to make clear that I do know that there was another black girl, and I'm going to say she was a girl because I think she was like a teenager, who also is dividing her own right. Bitch, I'm not getting up. Like, bitch, I'm not getting up. I'm sitting here and I'm not getting up. And so Rosa Parks was not the first to do it, but Rosa Parks is one of our foremothers whom we all know and we love. And when I tell you what they did to her is despicable and disgusting, and if I had to measure out the ladies that I meant, look, I can't. It was, what they did to our mothers was just so fucked up. But I want to talk specifically about Rosa Parks, because Rosa Parks put in a lot of work, okay? She put in a lot of work for the black collective for her to just be shat on as an old lady. And Yeah, that's what happened. So here's the story. Let me tell you how it went. Okay, so Rosa Parks, in case we did not know, so that we don't think that Rosa Parks is just like a figurehead in the civil rights movement, I'm going to give you some history on who she is as a woman and even who she was as a girl. So Rosa Parks is divine. You know, divine in her own right, right? I just want to speak to some of who she was before we got to know her, right? Before she became the Rosa Parks that we knew. I'm talking about little baby Rosa Parks, right? So Rosa Parks was not able to be educated because she had to work. And she worked in white people's homes as a nanny. You know, this is what we do. We mothering everybody. And Rosa Parks had no children. But anyhow, she works in white people's homes as a nanny. And this story comes out when Rosa Parks is talking about... Hold up, let me get the lady name. Alright, so I got some names. So the first girl, at this time, she was a girl. Also one of our, you know, mothers. Her name was Claudette. Her name was Claudette Colvin. And she was 15 years old at the time, and she was a baby. She was like, bitch, I'm not getting up. She was just a baby, and she refused to give up her bus, you know, her space on the bus. And I'm thinking that this happened more often than not for black women, because black women are defiant as fuck. And I'm stating this as a black woman who is defiant as fuck, but also as a black woman who has a daughter who is defiant. Y'all, I can't... When I tell y'all that Puddin is defiant and headstrong, I mean, like, it's ridiculous. Like, she will make fun of me now because I have told her to do something and she has, like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I would look at her, I'd be like, you are so defiant. And that's an ode to black women. Like, black women are defiant. So we know Claudette Colvin and we know Rosa Parks, but I'm thinking it was a bunch of black women that was like, bitch, I'm not moving. Like, take your white ass to the back of the bus. I'm not moving. This is probably a thing that happened more often than not. And you want to know what else probably happened? White males probably took their ass to the back of the bus. This not giving up our seats as black women was probably a thing that was happening quite often. Like, we know two ladies who did it, but I'm sure it was a plethora of black women that was like, bitch, my feet hurt and I'm sitting right the fuck here. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting right the fuck here, and that's that. And while she was doing that and being defiant, these bitch ass niggas was going to the back of the bus and was probably yelling at her, you know, come on, get in the back of the bus, don't make no ruckus. Oh gosh, these niggas are such bitches. Like, you know what? It happened. I can feel it in my spirit. This how it went. Black women being defiant and niggas being bitches. Yep, that's how it went. Okay? So anyhow, what I wanted to mention was Reese Taylor. And this is a black woman who was gang raped. Y'all, my channel's so little, I think I can get away with that. But anyhow, she was you know, trigger warning. She was gang raped by a bunch of white little boys, you know, little ass dirty Y and little white apes, little snow apes, little snow apes at this point, right? So these bunch of little, you know, boys had, you know, gang raped this woman, Reese Taylor. And if you look it up, like, it's a whole bunch of, you know, documentaries on YouTube about it. But what was prominent about it was the fact that, well, not the gang rape in itself was, you know, crazy. But Rosa Parks at that time, as a young woman, worked for the NAACP. And this is how I concluded that, you know, when I thought for a moment, wait a minute, was Rosa Parks also, you know, a prop in the civil rights movement? Like, were they just looking around finding, you know, fair-skinned black women to be props in the fucking civil rights movement? So when I thought that Rosa Parks herself was a prop, what I found was, no, Rosa Parks had an interest in the black collective far before this, you know, far before she didn't give up her seat on the bus, right? And whether or not that was a prop or not is, you know, something that can be questioned. But Rosa Parks being a defiant black woman and Rosa Parks being a black woman's woman is not something that is questioned, because when she worked for the NAACP, her role in the NAACP was to was to investigate the rapes of black women by, snow apes, right? That was her role. And this woman, Reese Taylor, was one of the women that she went to go and investigate. And I can't remember how old she was, but I do know she was a young woman. But what she shared later in life was her own experiences and being, trying to be SA, or as a white male trying to SA her. And this happened when she was 14 years old. So back to when she was a child, right? And what she says is, let me see if I can find it and play it. Because it was so, what she ends up saying to this white male who tries to, she's inside of a house, and she's babysitting for this white family. The white family is gone, and she has the children there, and she put them to sleep. And then one of the neighbors come over, and he tries to SA her. And what she ends up saying to him, first of all, is what any, black woman would say, like, you all are racist. At this time, white males are clearly racist, like, you bitches are racist. What, the white woman ain't good enough for you, is what she says to him. And that's just something that any self-respecting, dignified black woman would immediately think, like, bitch, you over here. And it's something I said in my past videos, like, you over here looking for, when I was talking about, slavery and all of the grapes of black women during slavery, like, you're really over here looking for dirty, nigger girls, and you have this beautiful, pristine white woman. Is she not good enough for you, bitch? And if she not good enough for you, I need you to say that shit out loud, right? I need you to openly say that shit. Like, don't be trying to come over here and violate me in the secrets, bitch. I need you to openly say, the bitch that drinks out of the fucking toilet and chasing down apes in the slave yard, bitch. I need you to say out loud that she not good enough for you, right? And she says that to this white male. She says, like, what, the white woman ain't good enough for you? And he goes on to say, no, he's trying to essay her. He goes on to say that he likes all women. He does that. He likes all women. It doesn't matter skin tone or race, right? And what she says, as a dignified black woman, if that's the case, then you will marry them, bitch. And I think that that's something that black women can take with us as we start to, venture out into, the larger society in our dating, and you find out, is this just like some kind of thing that he wants to get off in this moment, or does he really have an interest in black women? Anyhow, what she ends up saying to him is that he can rape her. Like, she's 14 years old, and these are her exact words. He can rape her, right? But he's going to have to rape a dead body. Which, at 14 years old, she decides, bitch, you're going to have to kill me. Okay? You're going to have to kill me, and then you can have it however you like, but you got to kill me first. And then this white male decides, all right, well, I don't want to kill her. I don't want to kill her, so he backs down. And I'm going to see if I can find this letter that Rosa Parks wrote about this experience. But what I'm trying to bring to our attention is even before the bus boycott happened, Rosa Parks was a black woman's woman who was literally doing black women's work even back then. And I want to find, if I can, I'll give me a second. I'm going to find the letter that she wrote, because she wrote a letter about her experience, with SA, or someone trying to SA her as a, as a young girl, a white male trying to SA her. And when I say that what they did to our mothers, I'm speaking about they, right? I'm speaking about all the apes. The apes, the black apes, the snow apes, like what they did to our mothers is an ode to all of what everybody did to her. Not just, niggas. Like, no, black women do live in an intersection of misogyny. And that's a space where we uniquely exist, and we are uniquely vulnerable. Because you have these crimes and these harms committed to us by the males of our demographic, and then they, are bitches, right? So it's no protection for us as a collective, and it leaves, as I said, it leaves the door open for all males to just come in and do whatever the fuck they want to us. And Rosa Parks is an exact example. Like, Rosa Parks is an exact example of how this happens. So I want to play exactly what she said about this encounter of SA, this encounter of being SA'd. So give me a second. So the movie is called The Rape of Reese Taylor, and in this movie is a letter from Rosa Parks that is in the Library of Congress, right? And I want to play exactly Rosa Parks' exact words, and I hope you ladies can hear it. I'm going to play it as loud as I can, and I'm going to put the speaker to it as it plays. So, here it goes.
Late spring of 1931, I was past my 18th birthday. It was during the Depression, and I was quite lucky to have a maid-of-all-work job in the home of a couple who paid me $4 weekly for 7 days a week. The Mr. and Mrs. were off for their night of pleasure. The baby was put to bed by me, and he was sleeping. It was a typical hot Alabama night. All the doors and windows were open. I saw Mr. Charlie. He poured himself a drink from the whiskey bottle on the table. He stood near me, sipping a drink. I said the folks may be coming back soon if he wanted to wait for them. He said he was there to see me. He moved nearer to me and put his hand on my waist. At his touch, I jumped away as quickly as an unbridled filly. He asked me not to be afraid. He would not hurt me. He liked me. He didn't want me to be lonely, and would I be sweet to him? He had money to give me for accepting his attentions. I felt filthy and stripped naked of any shred of decency. In a flash of movement, I was no longer a decent, self-respecting teenage girl, but a flesh pot, a strumpet to be bargained for and parceled out as a commodity. He was fast becoming intoxicated on alcohol and lustful desire for my body. I knew that no matter what happened, I would never yield to this white man's bestiality. I was ready and willing to die, but give any consent. Never. All my fear had been replaced by a determination to stand completely alone against this formidable foe as long as I drew the breath of life. I talked about the white man's inhumane treatment of the Negro, how I hated all white people, especially him. He asked me to give him a price. I was not for sale. I asked him if the white woman was not good enough for him. I taunted him about the supposed white supremacy, the white man's law drawing the color line of segregation. I said there was nothing he could do to get my consent. He need not think that because he was a low-down, dirty dog of a white man and I was a poor, defenseless, helpless colored girl that he could run over me. If he wanted to kill me and rape a dead body, he was welcome. But he would have to kill me first. He said the color of a person didn't matter to him if he liked the person. I said it would not matter to me if there was no color line and all people could be respected equally. I would not be intimate with a man that the law did not permit me to be married to and respected by. At long last, Mr. Charlie got the idea that I meant no. Very definitely, no. He said he would not bother me any further. I picked up the newspaper, opened it wide, holding it where I couldn't see him, and started reading.
So, I was wrong. She was 18. But, these are the words of our mother. And in those words, I found her to be so determined, so determined to just not be violated by anybody. So when I find out later in life that she didn't get up on a bus, like, although I'm beginning to think like all this shit is just orchestrated. But when I find out that at 18 years old, she's this, and then in her mid-20s, she is, working for the NAACP, investigating the, rapes of black women by, white males. And mind you, at this time, black women are still being raped by apes any fucking way. Like, that's happening anyway. And then you got snow apes, raping black women. Like, it's just what they did to our mothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like no room. It's just like no room for rest. God damn. Like, it's literally no room for rest as a black woman. So then when I found out that in, her 20s, she's doing this work, I'm like, okay, it's quite possible that this same woman is, whether at that time it was orchestrated that she not get up or not, she's a woman who's not going to get up. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a woman who's not going to, bow her head and, look at her fucking shoes when it comes to white males or the white larger collective. Like, no, she's just not going to do that. And that's never been who she was. So to think that, the bus boycotts, whether it was orchestrated or not, it was still in her character to do so. Is what I wanted to say. I wanted to paint Rosa Parks' entire story here so that we understand that, this is who she was. Like, when I'm questioning who Coretta Scott King was, I'm questioning who she was. But when I'm talking about Rosa Parks, I'm sure of who she was based on who she has always been. And who she, and even who she died as. Even the woman that she died as, right? So anyhow, Rosa Parks goes through this bus boycott for the civil rights movement. Because at this time, black women and black people as a collective were facing oppression. And, at this point, black people includes black women. So when she's doing this for the black collective, she's doing it for black women as well, right? And I'm sorry if my mic is messing up because I'm moving it around. Let me sit it down. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. So she's doing this for the black collective, and she does all of this work for the black collective. And at this time in history, Rosa Parks is not facing brutal harshness from the larger white society, right? She isn't facing a harshness from the larger white society outside of the regular treatment of black women and black people at this time, right? This does not put the kind of target on her back that she has written about, her being, threats of violence against her. She's basically just, proud, I'm using air quotes, she's a proud nigger bitch who's just not liked by the white collective, right? Because of this stance that she has taken and not being treated like shit, right? like, she's the kind of woman you're just not gonna treat her like shit. And that's the bottom fucking line. And that's who she's always been. But what we find after the bus boycotts, after Rosa Parks becomes a national hero, right? Because what America tries to do is clean up its act, right? It tries to clean up the embarrassment that is racism, right? That's what America's trying to do. And they should. Like, I'm here for that. You should clean up the messes that you made and the crimes that you committed against our mothers. Absolutely. If white males wanted the war with black males, then you should have left us the fuck out of it. And I've said this several times and I mean it. You should have left us the fuck out of it. Period. So you should want to clean that up. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The things that white males did to black women, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating, and it equates you to the fucking ape that you said you were beyond. When we talk about Reese Taylor and how, like, she was gang raped by a bunch of fucking little white boys, I don't see the difference between those little black boys and the rest of the little apes I know. Like, it's no difference there. It's no difference there. They acting just like apes. So, in trying to clear up and separate from the fucking ape and show that you are beyond him, bitch, yeah, you should make her a fucking national hero, right? So, here Rosa Parks is as a national hero at this point, as she's becoming an older woman. And this, I don't know if black women know this happened, But this kind of knocks you on your ass, right? So yeah, this happens, right? And this is, more of what they did to our mothers. So in 1994, an ape by the name of Joseph N. Skipper breaks into Rosa Parks' home, and this is in August of 1994. He hits her in the face and robbed her of $53. Wow. Wow. 1994. At this point, she's a national treasure. She's a national hero. We have all learned about her in our elementary school. 1994. What grade am I in? In 1994, I might be in like 94. I'm like in second or third grade, right? I'm literally just now learning about this magnificent woman who was Rosa Parks, and this nigga has gone into her house, hit her, struck her, and all for $53. Now at this point in our lives, I think that we might know who Rosa Parks is, even regardless of if he knew who she was or not. The fact that you're going into an old lady house and hitting her to rob her is despicable. Imagine how Rosa Parks feels in this moment. The work that she has done for the Black collective, the work that she's done that has literally changed laws in this country so that he could live an easier life. And here he is breaking into her home to rob her. And she only got $53. Rosa Parks in her house, she only got $53 fucking dollars, and then you go on to learn more of how black males don't give a fuck about black women and Rosa Parks when you find out later in her life she was about to be evicted. The Rosa Parks is about to be evicted. She doesn't have any money for rent, right? And at this time, so at this time, the Rosa Parks is poor, clearly. Clearly she's poor, right? And what happens is Rosa Parks, however it happens, she's not able to pay her rent. Her caretakers are not able to pay her rent. The apartment that she lives in, they let her live there for 2 years rent-free at an $1,800 rent payment. And I mean, it's just, when you think about it, let's just for a moment just sit and think about this. At 91 years old, in your 90s, as an old ass lady who has done so much work for the Black collective, old and feeble-minded, right? Old and feeble-minded. At this point, she's suffering from dementia. Like, she's just an old ass lady, an old ass poor black woman, like literally. And this is in the 90s, right? It's a whole bunch of rich niggas at this point. At this point, it's a whole bunch of rich niggas. Remember the 90s? Y'all remember all the fucking music videos that we was watching with niggas just popping bottles and big ass chains and just doing fucking well? The Rosa Parks is inside of an apartment owned by white males, right? The same white males that historically have wronged her. Right? And they offer her, a free place to stay for 2 years for free. And then finally, they're ready to evict her because, really because they don't owe her shit. Let's be clear, like, they don't owe her shit. It's hurtful to say, but white males don't owe Rosa Parks shit. Right? The black male collective should have been taking care of Rosa Parks. Because of the work that she's done in this realm, like, it should have been no fucking reason why Rosa Parks' rent was not paid for 2 years. Like, get real. So, Rosa Parks' rent is not paid for 2 years, and she's ready to get evicted. At this point, in Detroit, there is the owner of Little Caesars. His name is Mike Ilitch, who owns Little Caesars, and he also owns like some, I don't know, some soccer teams or something. What's the sport that white boys like to play on the ice? Hockey. he owns like some hockey teams, or co-owns some hockey teams, you know, and he ends up paying Rosa Parks the rent for the rest of her life. He makes a donation to the owners of the building in which she lived in, who had already housed her for 2 years for free. And in this apartment she was moved into because of the dangers of the apartment that she lived in before, which is why why was Rosa Parks paying $1,800 rent? At this point, she had been beat up by a fucking dirty ape, and she was moved into this apartment because it was safer. And when her caretakers couldn't pay the rent, or did not pay the rent, or however the fuck, because Rosa Parks dies broke, I mean, this shit is unbelievable. Because Rosa Parks is a poor woman. I'm sorry I said 91 years old, but she's 81. At 81 years old, she's finally like, listen, I'm not paying no more her rent. Like, what's up? And Mike Ilitch makes a offering to the to this building. Maybe he invests in it. However it shows up. But it goes as follows. I make this investment, or I make this offering, or this donation only in the good faith that Rosa Parks gets to live out the rest of her life in this apartment. And they agree to that, and Rosa Parks gets to live out the rest of her life in this apartment. But to know that in the 1990s, as Rosa Parks is 81 years old, suffering from dementia, an old, feeble fucking woman, to know that the males of her demographic did nothing and to aid her. Outkast made a song about her, and they were sued about it for using her fucking name. I'll never forget Tyler Perry on a fucking video, "Get off the bus, Rosa," talking about, as he's pretending to be a woman. Then the only reason why Rosa Parks got off the bus was, why Rosa Parks did not want to get off the bus, or however it went, was because, oh my, these niggas are disgusting. Because Tyler Perry's Medea and Rosa was seeing the same man, and she was afraid to get off the bus. Like, these niggas literally made jokes about her and made songs about her, and just like ran over who the fuck she was. At the same time, she's in her old fucking age, old and feeble, and about to get evicted. A white male comes to her rescue. Like, these are things that they did to our mothers. Rosa Parks was married with no children. She couldn't have children. I think that her brother had a bunch of children. She loved her brother, and, she helped raise those children. But she wasn't able to have any children. She married I'm going to call her husband an ape. And I'm going to call her husband an ape and show him no fucking respect, because here she is in her old age dying, and he has made no provisions for her. He has made no provisions for her. He had died before her, but he had made no provisions for her as she aged. There was absolutely no protection from Rosa Parks as a black woman who not only did black women's work, but did work for the larger black collective. There was zero protection from her in her old age from the black male collective. None. Not only was there no protection for her in her old age, rich niggas made fun of her. Rich niggas made her a fucking joke in their fucking stand-up comedy, or whatever the fuck Tyler Perry does with Medea. Whatever the fuck we want to call it. They made her a fucking joke. Outkast made songs about her in which they had to be sued for using her name inside of a song. Like, this is the disrespect that this woman lived in her old age after she was the Rosa Parks. Like, the shit is unbelievable. What they did to our mothers is unfucking believable. To know that there was an ape that went into her home and fucking struck her. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? And this bitch went to jail for 15 years, got out, and then went and robbed some more motherfuckers. Like, what? Like, what? To know that this is how she lived her life in her old age, to know that there was no preparations for her, to know that no one thought that Rosa Parks would get old and have to be taken care of. Not one single rich nigga stepped in on her behalf. Do you see why they are all cursed? Do you see why there is no pardoning them? Do you see why we should never, ever, ever look at black males, any black male, in life for the rest of our lives with any kind of favor, with any kind of love, with any kind of admiration? If for no other reason, it's because of what Rosa Parks did for the black collective and how they let her die. This level of bitch assness from black males is truly despicable. One of the things that I always joke about with my daughter is I'll tell her, you better not let nobody outlove me from you. Like no one, Mike Ilitch should have, if black males gave a fuck about black women, if black males gave a fuck about the work that Rosa Parks had done, if black males gave a fuck, period, Mike Ilitch should not have been able to love her more than they did. Like, what? We live in a capitalistic society. To allow Rosa Parks to live inside of that building for free for 2 years, those owners, the capitalistic owners of that building, loved Rosa Parks more than apes did. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. And these are not things that black women should be trying to cover up. As far back as we can go to expose how despicable these apes are, we should be going back to expose it. That is shameful as fuck. Every black male should be walking around with his head down low based on the fact that Mike Ilitch loved Rosa Parks more than they did. It's despicable. It's humiliating. It's embarrassing. And because of it, we should allow them to live in that curse alone. Black women, you must separate from this fucking demonic ape. Like, really. And that's what they did to our mother, Rosa Parks. That's what they did to her. That's how she lived her entire life. Knowing and living in the sexual assaults from white males, the violation from black males, the not give a fuck from the black collective. Like, this is how our mother lived her life. This is what they did to our mothers. I hope that you enjoyed this video, ladies. If it's dragging you down, if it's dragging you down as a black woman, go outside. That's what I do. That's what I do. Listen, I go outside, get some of that crisp, where I'm at, it's cold. Get some of that crisp air on my face. And, you know, the feelings of, as I said, it's taking me right back into those feelings of grief. Like, when I tell you today, as I share this video, I fucking hate these niggas. Like, literally hate them. Literally hate them. And that kind of hate comes from a self-respecting black woman. Like, all that laughing and joking and you know, self-loathing, you know, shit that, you know, is going around. Like, no, bitch, I fucking hate you for this. I fucking hate you for this, bitch. This is why I hate you. Oh, you know, Preem hate niggas. Why? Because she a baby mother? No, bitch. I hate you because Rosa Parks died like that. That's why, ho. That's why I hate your ass. I hate you because of how Rosa Parks died. That's why. That's why I hate all rappers. For the record. For the record. Why Preem hate all rappers? Because they say bitches and hoes? No. Because they let Rosa Parks die like that. That's why. Niggas popping bottles on yachts and, you know, having women twerk on them and swiping cards down the ass crack of black women. And all the time, Rosa Parks getting busted in her fucking face and dying fucking destitute. Bitch, I fucking hate you. With that being said, Ashanti should be a fucking shamed. You know what I'm saying? Like Ashanti should be a fucking shamed. Like, I really don't get how black women live in this realm and really be fucking with niggas. Like, that shit is mind-boggling to me. As I am doing this series, I'm circling back to my relationships. You know, as the whole thing with, you know, Kendall went on and everybody mentioned my brother, I'm circling back as I'm having all these feelings. And, nigga, would you believe I fucking hate your ass too? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going through these motions and trying to deal with my father becoming old and fucking feeble. And why the fuck shouldn't he die like Rosa Parks? How dare I give my father a better life in his last fucking days than Rosa Parks got? I wish the fuck I would. Call me when I can fucking cash my insurance check, please. Please. Let me know when I should fucking cash in my fucking insurance check. Anyhow, black women, that's where I'm at today. that's where I'm at today, y'all. That's where I live at right now. And maybe this video will help you live there. You know, join me here. Join me here and fuck them. Fuck them. They let Rosa Parks die like that, and they all should die worst. That's how Rosa